7 mind games, dismissive avoidance. Play when they want you in their life, but won't admit it. They'll never say it outright, that they miss you, that they want you, that they're afraid to lose you. With a dismissive avoidant, you'll rarely get the full truth served on a silver platter. Instead, what you'll notice is behavior, strange, inconsistent, confusing behavior. A pattern of emotional tug-of-war that feels like they're playing games with your heart. But what if those mind games are actually the only language they know when they do want you in their life? When their desire to be close is at war with their fear of vulnerability? Let's talk about it. 7 mind games, dismissive avoidance, play when they want you, but can't admit it. 1. The accidental text or sudden check-in game. You haven't heard from them in days or maybe weeks. You assumed they were done. You started to detach. Then out of nowhere, a text. Something random. Maybe a meme. Maybe a, "Hey, meant to send this to someone else." Or, "I thought about that thing you said the other day." It feels casual, but don't be fooled. This isn't accidental. This is a test. Avoidants don't just fall back into communication out of convenience. They re-enter subtly, testing the waters. Their fear is that if they come in too strong, they'll be rejected or emotionally obligated. So they dip their toe in, see if you'll bite. If you respond warmly, it soothes their ego and signals safety. If you're cold or unavailable, they retreat. Again, it's a game of emotional hide and seek. But behind that game, a scared child wondering, "Am I still wanted?" 2. The hot and cold temperature test. One moment they're flirty, curious, and fully engaged. The next, cold as ice. Dismissive avoidants regulate closeness by controlling temperature. When they start to feel too close, when feelings rise or intimacy deepens, they back away. But when distance grows and they fear you're drifting too far, they come back to warm things up. It's a seesaw dynamic designed to manage proximity without risking emotional exposure. If they didn't care, they wouldn't play. The game is how they stay without having to say they want to. They turn affection on and off like a light switch, not because they're cruel, but because that's how they self-protect. You become their emotional thermostat, and if you're not grounded, you'll constantly question yourself. Did I do something wrong? Did I imagine the connection? You didn't. You just got pulled into a game of approach and retreat, love in survival mode. 3. The "I don't need you, but I'll hover" illusion. Dismissive avoidants pride themselves on independence. They'll say things like, "I don't need anyone," or "I'm fine being alone." And yet you'll notice their digital fingerprints all over your life. They'll watch your stories but won't reply to your messages. Like your post, but ignore your texts. Keep tabs through mutual friends. They want access without accountability. They want presence without participation. This hovering is their way of staying in your orbit. It's a passive form of intimacy. It says, "I can't handle direct closeness, but I'm not ready to let go either." And for the person on the other end, it's maddening, because their silence screams louder than words. But this is how they stay attached, silently, distantly, invisibly. 4. The reverse psychology push-away. Here's one of their trickiest moves. They'll push you away, hoping you'll come closer. Sounds backwards? It is. But in their mind, distance equals safety. So instead of asking for reassurance directly, they may act aloof, disinterested, or even critical, just to see if you'll chase. They'll say things like, "Maybe we're not right for each other," or "You deserve someone who's more emotionally available than me." And part of you might think, "Wow, they're being honest." But another part senses the manipulation, because what often follows is an expectant pause, watching to see if you'll protest, fight for them, beg to stay. That reaction reassures them that you still care, without them ever having to say they want you to stay. It's emotional bait, and they know exactly how to cast the line without ever appearing needy. 5. The jealousy trigger game. They won't tell you they want to be with you, but they will subtly try to make you feel like someone else is getting closer to them. They mention a coworker who's been texting them a lot. They casually bring up someone from their past who's suddenly back in town. Or worse, they post pictures that seem perfectly curated to provoke curiosity or jealousy. Why? because jealousy to them is proof of emotional investment. If you react, if you seem upset, insecure, or possessive, they take that as validation. Ah, you still care. You still want me. I still matter. And yet they'll deny doing anything intentional. I was just sharing. You're overreacting. But it's a carefully crafted emotional game. And it's not about cruelty. It's about craving reassurance through indirect means. 6. The minimal effort, maximum impact strategy. Dismissive avoidants often put in the bare minimum when it comes to affection or commitment. But when they fear losing you, they'll offer just enough to keep you emotionally invested. One kind message after a week of silence, a brief phone call after ignoring you for days, a compliment wrapped in sarcasm, a small breadcrumb of connection that's meant to trigger hope. This is not manipulation in the traditional sense, it's survival. They want you, but not at the cost of emotional dependency. So they do what I call impact microdosing, a little dose of presence to keep the door open, to stop you from walking away completely. You might think, finally they're opening up, but it rarely sustains, because the moment they feel too close again, they vanish. It's not because they don't like you, it's because they don't trust closeness. 7. The silent loyalty game. This one is the hardest to see because it happens in the background. Despite the mixed signals, emotional distance, or inconsistent communication, you sense they haven't truly moved on. They don't date anyone seriously. They don't cut you off. They maintain a quiet thread of loyalty. They'll show up when you're going through something big. They'll check on your family. They'll remember your important dates, even if they don't always say it. It's subtle, but real. Because while they fear commitment, they also fear losing people they feel connected to. And this unspoken loyalty is how they stay close without crossing the threshold of full emotional engagement. It's a nonverbal way of saying, I haven't let go. I just don't know how to stay safely. Here's the truth most people miss. Dismissive avoidants are not heartless. They're scared. Their attachment system tells them that closeness is dangerous, that opening up means losing control, that loving someone means eventually being hurt, rejected, or overwhelmed. So when they want you in their life, they won't say it outright. They'll say it through actions that look confusing on the surface, but are deeply revealing underneath. These mind games aren't always malicious. They're protective, defensive, a dance between desire and fear. You become both the magnet and the threat. And if you're the anxious type, this game activates everything in you. You feel like you're being asked to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. You overthink, overgive, overexplain, hoping they'll meet you halfway, but often they can't. Not until they do the internal work of confronting their attachment wounds. So, what do you do with this? If you're tangled in the games of a dismissive avoidant, you must ask yourself, do I want to play? Because healing doesn't happen in reaction to someone else's patterns. It happens in how you respond to them. Don't match the games. Don't play detective. Don't build a relationship on crumbs and clues. Instead, anchor yourself. State your needs. Set boundaries. Communicate with clarity. If they want you, really want you, they'll rise to meet you when they're ready. If they don't, you'll know without having to chase confirmation. The mind games are seductive, yes. They mimic intimacy. They trick your nervous system into thinking something deeper is unfolding. But don't confuse longing with love. Don't mistake patterns for progress. And above all, don't lose your own emotional center trying to decode someone else's avoidance.